And also, uh, I will actually, each of the area I will be demonstrating them on the product live, right? So since we had I had discussed with Mr. Guru Prasad that many of you are still on Tally ERP, so the entire session will be covered on the configuration, capturing of transactions, and other aspects of GST compliance in Tally ERP9. And in the last, we will dedicate about 15 to 20 minutes of our time and see what changes have happened in Tally Prime and why it is pertinent now for all of you to maximum try and move to Tally Prime. And also, basically, it's a tough job that you have to convince your clients to move to Tally Prime. So we will see what changes and why it is necessary for us to move to Tally Prime. So let me just quickly share my screen.
Sir, if you can start the recording as well, please.
Yeah, I have started. Yes, I have. Yeah, I've started the recording also. Let me just. So I've just opened my chat box also. So if anybody has any query, you can just type it out, and we will try and keep our Q&A at the end. But if you feel that it is critical that you need to get this clarified, so you can just type it on the chat box. I opened the chat box. I'm able to see the chat box, so you can type it out there. Okay. So today's session is all about
Through the meeting.
Tally for GST, right? And how GST, how Tally can make your GST compliance, very simple. So that is what basically we are going to see uh, today. Just a minute. So the agenda of our session, today's session looks like this. So we will have a quick update. I'm sure that all of you are aware of this update. I thought it is better just we touch upon this update and then see what implication it has. From there are certain changes have happened from 1st of April, from 1st of January, right? And then we will talk about the design principle, how the GST compliance is designed in Tally. Once you understand this design principle, it becomes very easy for you to configure Tally. I'm sure, I know that many of you are probably you would have tried
And we have
configuring,
cycle.
probably you would have tried and you would have uh, yeah, probably you would have tried and configured and then try to pass entry, but then when you go to the return of your GSTR 1 or 3B, it is going to show some 300, 400 mismatch or incomplete transactions. So that is where you would have lost the motivation, and then you would have stopped using Tally. But today definitely I'm going to give those nuances. I mean, what are those exceptions which you have to remember? And for that, it is very important for us to understand the design principle. And then we will also see very critical aspect of is how the tax rates are set up in Tally, and what are the hierarchy and how it inherits the rates that you are setting up in Tally. And then the master setup, right? So some of you probably the expenses part, the input credit which you are eligible to claim, probably it is not coming in your GSTR1 as part of your ITC. Okay, and then a lot of other issues are there, something it is going to show you mismatch or error, but then you will not have any tax into that. Why all these problems are there? We have to understand how do we set up this master. Setting up this master is very critical. Once you set up this master in Tally, it becomes much easier. Okay, and then we will also see how Tally supports the reversals and adjustment entries, ineligible input tax credit, how do you reverse it? And then if you have to reduce your tax liability or increase your tax liability, reduce your tax credit or increase your tax credit, there are various adjustments which needs to be done post capturing your primary transaction of your inward supply and outward supply, and also needs to be reported in the respective, especially in case of your GSTR 3B. There are reversals, different under different section and a different rule. You are supposed to reverse them and capture that information in the respective table. So using this reversal flag, Tally basically gives you a flag. Using this reversal flag, we will see how you can capture the transaction so that the relevant information are getting captured in your GSTR 3B. See, the whole idea of today's session is the actionable or the take home for all of you is at the end of the session, next tomorrow or later in the evening, if you are going to start working on Tally for GST, you should be comfortably doing these all these activities with confidence. And the ultimate goal for you to achieve is that by click of a button, you should be able to extract the JSON file to be uploaded, be it GSTR 3B or be it GSTR 1. So that is what is going to be our end objective that we are supposed to meet, and that is going to be your take home. Okay, then we will see how do you account for import of goods and import of service. So we will discuss that when we come to that particular area. And then how do you handle this RCM, reverse charge mechanism? So there are two types of reverse charge. One is that on your inward supply you need to account for reverse charge and get it reflected in the right table in the respective return form. And the other one is that you might be supplying some services which come falls under reverse charge even though you are a registered person. How do you handle that so that like you capture that in your GSTR 1 in the respective table where it says it is an outward supply which is attracting reverse charge? So we will see how do we handle that in Tally. And then yes, e-invoicing, Tally is provided e-invoicing facility. It is very simple. Today fortunately, like businesses with 50 and above crore turnover are covered under e-invoice. And all of us know that in the month of December, January, there were talks about the e-invoicing facility to be extended to almost 5 crore and above, which will cover the major chunk. But fortunately, they are again taking a very cautious step and then trying to implement in a phased manner. So probably the next 3 months or in the next 6 months, you or your clients, majority of your clients must be covering under e-invoice. So we will see what is the solution that Tally is provided as far as e-invoicing is concerned. And also, as on today, many of your clients would be 5 lakh, 5 crore and below turnover, for whom we are aware that the IFF, a beautiful feature was introduced by GST from 1st of January. So Tally again provides for you to extract all the B2B transaction of your tax invoice, supplementary invoice, debit note, or credit note, every information that you can actually export by click of a button in Tally and then push it into your IFF system, so that on a real time basis, your client is able to upload the invoice so that their customers can get the credit immediately in the same month. Okay, so we will also see what is the facility that Tally provides. And this is where I'm going to introduce you to Tally Prime. And we will see that it is not a major paradigm shift in the way that you are going to work. It is going to be the same thing, except that the color and little bit of menu is changed. And just for your information, any new update that is going to happen, uh, as far as the compliance, whether it is GST or TDS or TCS is concerned, as far as Tally is concerned, every new update is going to happen only on Tally Prime. No updates will be given by Tally for Tally ERP. Right. So, and the e-invoice, what we are going to witness is again the facility is available only in Tally Prime. The IFF facility is also available only in Tally Prime. So we will see what is there in Tally Prime and how easy, simple it is for you to operate is what I am going to demonstrate and show you, so that I mean you can confidently. And also I will tell you certain do's and don'ts, or certain key pointers to remember before you migrate into Tally Prime. Okay, and then of course we have this Q&A session. We will have this Q&A session. So the first section today is basically the GST update, which I will quickly run through. I'm not going to take much of time, since I mean, like, all of you are definitely aware of this thing, right? So blocking of e-credit ledger, I mean, like, applicable from 1st of January. So we are aware of that. So what are the conditions? So probably you might have to educate your client, or inform your client, for them to make sure that they are adhering to this, so that I mean, like, their credit is not blocked. And I'm sure that many of you are aware that I mean, like, even without even giving show cause notice and all those things, in some cases the officers have blocked the ITC, they blocked their credit ledgers, right? So these are the conditions. Again, I'm not going to repeat. So just basically just make you have to just inform the client that for them to take care of these points, so that their input tax credit is saved. One, for claiming of input tax credit, and number two is that I mean, like, whatever tax they have paid to the supplier is also not getting lost. The second is the input tax credit utilization. Again, we have seen that through this notification 94, which is effective from first of just one sec, from 1st of January it is applicable. That means basically it says that I mean, like, if any person's monthly taxable supply is 50 lakhs and greater, then they can claim only up to 99% of the input tax credit that is available in their credit ledger. So which means literally 1% has to be compulsorily paid by them through cash. Okay, there are certain exceptions, again, which and like, you are I'm sure you are aware. So proprietor and association of persons who have paid income tax in any of the two previous year for more than 1 lakh, even though your taxable supply is going to be 50 lakh and above, if you have 100% of your input credit, you can set off 100%, so that 1% criteria is not going to be applicable. Again, in the case where person has been claiming refund on export through LUT and bond, if it is greater than 1 lakh, they are not covered under this particular notification. Then inverted duty structure, if people are claiming a refund under inverted duty structure greater than 1 lakh rupee, they are not covered. And the output GST, in case if they have to pay in excess of 1% through output, which is what is the notification is all about. So if they are paying, then they don't have to worry about it. And of course, I mean, public sector, government and local authorities are exempted from this particular thing. So this is again a very important thing, and a very, very, very problematic area. Probably you people must have experienced in the last 3 years, especially 17, 18. In the annual return, there was so much of chaos that HSN needs to be given for inward supply also, and we had so many things, and then they exempted and all those things. Now again, from 1st of April, it is very important that you have to, probably you would have educated your clients that they have to make sure that they are going to capture the proper HSN code based on as per this notification. Every business up to 5 crore, they have to compulsorily capture 4-digit HSN or SAC for all B2B supply, and B2C is optional in any case. I mean, doesn't matter. And anybody who is having greater than 5 crore, then 6-digit of HSN and SAC needs to be captured in both the invoices to B2B and also B2C. In case of import export, the 8-digit HSN code needs to be captured. Okay. So this is a quick. I thought these are critical notifications which have been impact, which will have an impact on your client. So this is about a quick update. There were so many other updates are also there. I mean, like, which I thought was not probably, not required to be covered here. So in the section 2 is what we are going to now talk about, the design principles of GST, right? So if you see the whole the way the tally is designed, the GST compliance is under the these three pillars of premise, that is basically prevention, detection, and seamless correction. First is that how do you prevent from getting into a wrong output of your GST information, number one. Number two, if you have not configured them properly, in case if there is an error, right, how easily the system or the technology should allow the user to detect immediately. Okay, so detecting is also very easy, but the biggest problem, I'm sure, in the last 44 months since the introduction of GST, many of you would have struggled in the detection part, or probably you would have detected what is the problem in tally, but then, I mean, like, you are not aware how do we correct that, what could be the problem that has caused this kind of an error, and how do you correct is going to be a another issue. So the way it is designed is you prevent, you detect. The moment you detect the error, you know that what is the nature of error, or what is the information that is missing out, so that you can seamlessly correct this information before you file your GSTR return, right? So for this, basically, if you see, you have one master. So master is very important. Again, believe me, for you to enable GST for any client, where if your client is a trader or a manufacturer where he's got hundreds and thousands of stock item, if you feel that, I mean, like, it is going to be very difficult to configure all those 5,000, 10,000 stock item, you really don't have to worry. Maximum it is going to take 2.5 minutes for you to enable GST and configure GST for the company. As far as the initial configuration is concerned, that's all it takes for you to enable the tally data for GST compliance. So master is going to play a very important role, and all this configuration in the master is just one time configuration, right? So you just going to configure once in the master, okay, and then whatever is the configuration that you have done, the transaction is going to keep looking into your configuration, and it keeps validating your configuration. And in case if there are any error in your transaction capturing of your data, which is not in accordance with your master, then it is going to give you warnings, it is going to throw warnings. And in case if the user is not, if the user is overlooking that warning and then saving the voucher, tally again it is going to catch you before you file your return, which is where some of you would have thought it is so irritating in tally that it is showing hundreds and hundreds of error, which is going to be humanly impossible for you to correct. So there again, I'm going to show you one very important trick. I am sure that many of you know this trick, where at least 60-70% of your difference can be removed by just one single configuration. So we will see that when we come into the product. So transaction, and this is what I was telling, in case if you are not, it is going to, you are able to detect in the transaction if there is any error. If you are not correcting it, if you have overlooked it, then in the report it is also going to tell you what is the error, what is the nature of error, what is missing information, so that you can correct them on the fly uh, from the written report. And the best part is that whatever correction you do at the report level, tally will automatically update that information in your voucher and in the master. So if you take the master, what are all the areas that you can configure? So yes, one is the rate of tax can be configured in the master. We will see all this in tally, how are we going to do this. And we can also say what is the type of transaction, whether it is a taxable transaction, whether it is a nil transaction, exemption transaction, whether it is import, export, all this can be configured at the master level. Okay, and then the type of tax, Okay, then all your three types of taxes can be specified. You can specify the description also can be specified, has to be specified. Now we have this HSN and SAC which is made compulsory, so those things can be captured at the master level. Now when you come to the transaction, like I mentioned earlier, whatever is the configuration, it automatically inherits the rule that is set in the master, and it will validate. And there are a lot of inbuilt intelligence that is built in Tally, which once you understand, that's why I said it is very important for us to understand this, the way the product is designed, so that you know that where is the exception, and how, if you find an exception, how quickly you can basically correct it. Okay, so there are certain inbuilt intelligence which are built inside Tally. Like for example, when you create your company, if you say your state is Karnataka, and if you are trying to, and if you have a customer to whom you are invoicing whose state is also in Karnataka, and by mistake if you are trying to select IGST, Tally is not going to calculate tax. So which means it now, that's the intelligence that is built here, one of the intelligence I'm talking about. It is built there, so it is not going to calculate. So even by force you try and enter that, it is going to give you a warning, there is a mismatch in your tax entry. So even if you accept the voucher, in the reporting it is going to highlight that information. So it will alert if there are any discrepancies. Okay, and if anything is ignored, so if you can correct them at the transaction level, your written report is going to be fine. Otherwise, it is now going to triangulate your data into the return, seeing the it is going to see what is that configuration you have done in the master, whether you have captured that properly. If you have not corrected at the transaction, the return is going to tell you where is the error. So it will detect the transaction with the wrong GST transaction, and also Tally assists you to basically help you to quickly correct them. So it gives you the what are the incomplete or mismatch, what is the kind or what is the nature of a mismatch that has occurred in the particular transaction, as also will be provided by Tally. Okay, so this is about the design that is there. And the next one is quickly, and after this is where we will move into Tally. The next one is basically we will see the tax rate setup, which is very very critical. All right, so how do we set up the tax rate? So basically this is what we call this as hierarchy and inheritance. Right, so like I said, it takes less than 3 minutes for you to set up GST for any client, where you can set up your GST information at the company level. All right, so you can set up the GST information at the company level, and once you set up the information at the company level, so this is what you can specify, which I had mentioned earlier, that the description, HSN, SAC, rate of tax, type of tax, everything can be configured at the company level. So the moment you configure them at the company level, you don't have to create any other configuration for GST, because all your purchase ledger, your sales ledger, your expenses ledger, and your income ledger will automatically get inherited with the GST enablement. And also your stock item will automatically, whether you have 50 stock item or 50,000 stock item. I'll give you one simple use case, which is not in majority of case it is not there. We will also see how to handle that. Let us assume a client of yours is dealing in some computer peripherals, and for the time being, let's assume that all those item that he's dealing in about 10,000 item, and all those item that he is dealing has got 18% GST. Right, so all you need to do is, just at the company level, you just say 18% GST, and automatically all the 10,000 item will automatically inherit the rate that you have set up at the company level. But the question is that even if you take computer peripheral, there are multiple rates. 18 is there, 28 is there, especially in the monitor. We have 18% and 28%, and those complexities are there. How do we handle that? Yes, we will see this. So this is what is the hierarchy I'm talking about. This is very, very important. Once you understand this hierarchy, it becomes very easy for you to understand how the GST module works in Tally, and confidently and in very swiftly you can actually configure GST, right? So what happens if the person is having sometimes you might have the same rate 18, it might be same 18%, but the HSN must be different, or SAC could be different in case of a non-trading, right? So how do we handle that? So what Tally says, if you want to automatically inherit all your masters the same information, you put it at the company level. If you need to make any change at the next level, then as in case of a trader or manufacturer, Tally says if there is an exception, right? So let us say you have four groups, right? And you put 18% at when you are creating the company for all four group Tally account inventory group, there might be item under that. Okay, so all four group item Tally will automatically inherit that 18% that you have given. But let us say there is one group Tally's stock group that you have created. Under that group, all the items which are classified under that group, you have GST rate of 28%. So how are you going to handle this? So Tally says, don't worry. Majority of the items that you are dealing in, whatever is the rate of tax, put it at the company level. If there is an exception, let's say this particular stock group, the GST is going to be, once you put 18% here, every item will automatically get 18%, including your stock group, right? But then what Tally says, if you want to modify, if you want to change the HSN code, if you want to change the GST rate, you come to stock group and then you can specify the GST rate, not just the stock group. Within the stock group, let us assume that this is 28%. Now you have one stock item which is 5%, which you have grouped it basically for your convenience purpose. So Tally says, no problem. You do the configuration at the group level. Automatically, all the item under the group will inherit whatever rate you are giving. Okay. But if out of that group, if one item is got a different rate or different GSTN, then you go to that particular stock item and then you configure that. So what all you can configure? You can configure further the change what is not there in your company setup. You can go and change it here. You can specify the description, HSN, SAC, rate of tax, everything can be done at the stock group level and also at the stock item level. Okay, this is very important for us to understand, right? Okay, now the next question is, okay, you have clients or you yourself are a chartered accountant, auditors, tax practitioners, right? So you don't have any inventory. So how do you manage GST compliance for your own organization? So again, Tally says whatever is your major service that you are going to provide, if it is just 18%, then you put it at the company level, and don't worry, just keep creating your sales ledger and your direct income, direct expenditure ledger, indirect expenditure ledger, whatever ledger where GST is needs to be impacted, it will automatically get impacted. But if you are providing some other service apart from your primary service of 18%, then again the same logic. Once you understand this logic, it becomes very easy. Again, Tally says you can go and change it at the accounting group level if it is different from the rate and the HSN or SAC that you have configured at the company level. And also, so once you do it at the accounting group level, automatically all the ledger under that, any new ledger you're going to create later on will automatically take, so you don't have to worry about configuring GST. Similarly, in case of inventory, right? If you are given at the company level, you have 50 inventory now, later on you are dealing in another 50 new item, you will just normally create the way you have been creating your stock item all these years. Don't worry about GST. Tally will take care of the GST since you have already configured them at the company level. So again, it says that in accounting group, if you have multiple ledger and one of the ledger, if it is having different rate of tax or different HSN code or SAC code, then go to that particular ledger, specify the same rate and change the HSN, so that Tally will automatically pick up that information as per your requirement of your HSN reporting. Okay, so this is very, very important. Now, apart, so this is master setting. Like I said, these are all one-time setting that you're going to do, right? So once you have done this, there might be some kind of an exception. The best example that I can give of the exception is, let's assume that in a company where you have repair and maintenance. Okay, companies have repair and maintenance. Now they and for not for vehicle repair and maintenance, I'm talking about the other repair and maintenance where the taxable person can claim tax credit on that. So normally what you do is you just create one ledger called repair and maintenance. Okay. And whatever is the first invoice that you are getting, if it is 18%, you will go and configure in the master as 18%, what we have seen here. So you will configure, because that is a ledger you are creating. You will create a ledger called repair and maintenance. And in this ledger, you will give the HSN of that or SAC of that if it is service, and then you will specify the rate, right? So now the second invoice that you are getting, let us say, which will be accounted as repair and maintenance in the company, but now the second invoice has got one item which is supplied, which is 28%, right? So how do you handle this? So normally the first thought process that you will get is, okay, let me create one more ledger called, I'll create one ledger called repair and maintenance GST at 18%, repair and maintenance GST at 28%. So like this, you will now start creating multiple ledgers, just because you need to have a separate or proper classification. So Tally says, no, 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 don't worry. If you want to override the configuration that you have given in the master as an exception case, and which is not a normal case, like normally if you have a lot of purchases, then it makes sense for you to have separate two ledgers and all those things. Otherwise, Tally says, don't worry, you can also override whatever information that you have given at the master level. You can override this information at the transaction level also. That means I have created a repair and maintenance ledger which is 18% in the master. So first voucher I have passed, Tally will automatically calculate, because the master is 18% and the bill is also 18%. The second invoice when I'm going to get, if I'm going to select 28%, it is not going to calculate because I have configured 18%, right? So for that particular invoice, you can override your master configuration of 18% to 28%, so that Tally will calculate 28% in that particular invoice, save that invoice, and it will not go and update your master, because you are only overriding in that particular transaction. So we will also see this, how Tally is going to take care of this overriding of the transaction also. We will see in the in the product. Okay. So now quickly, before we go into the ledger master, let me just quickly show this particular aspect of it, how easy and simple it is for you to configure in Tally. Right. So this is basically, I mean, like I said, I'm going to show all this in Tally ERP. Right. So I'm going to say select company, and here, okay, so I'm just created a separate data folder. I'm sure that all of you are aware that you can actually go and change your data folder also, 240421. Now this is where I have companies pre-created, so that we don't waste too much of time. So this is one company which basically I have this information, right? And if I come to display statutory report, GST, I have one report called GST rate setup. And if you see here, I have so many items, right? See, I have so many items here. So I have not enabled GST in this company. And I have so many, there are 77 more line items down, and you are also seeing another 40-50. So which means literally I have, if you come to your stock summary here, if I come to my stock summary, if I say F5, so I have so many stock items where I have not enabled GST. Now, for an existing company, how do we enable GST? Now, that is what I'm going to demonstrate here, right? So now this is the company which is which you have been managing your client's company. And let us assume that this is the current year. So we are already on 24th of April today. Nevertheless, any point in time, even today, you can enable GST. From today onwards, you can start capturing the information, or from 1st of May, whatever is the cutoff date that you feel in the current year also, even though the client must have passed so many entries till date, you really don't have to worry. So how am I going to do that? First thing, all of you know that to enable any feature in Tally ERP, we have this F11 feature. So you're going to press F11 feature, and Tally is going to give you this three major: accounting, inventory, and statutory and taxation. So we go to statutory and taxation, and here enable GST. Generally it is going to be no. I'm going to say yes. It will be no. I'm going to say yes. And then set alter GST detail, I'm going to say yes. Okay. Now this is again very, very important. So this is also one of our questions that was shared by Mr. Guru Prasad, which needs to be covered. So again, this configuration is very important, and this is where once you configure this, Tally will automatically have this inbuilt intelligence invoked automatically. So first is that now you are saying, Tally is asking you, what is your state? In which state are you operating, or in which state are you registered? Right. So you say Karnataka, or whichever state you are registered. Tally gives you the list of state. You can do select this particular state. Then Tally supports currently regular dealer GST compliance, and also GST compliance for composition dealers. Okay. So we will see about the regular dealers. Okay. So we are regular dealers, and this is assessee of other territory is basically your high C sales and all that. That's not required. And this again, GST applicable from, if you start your company from, let's say you create a new company for your client from 1/4/21. So it will automatically take your first day of the financial year as the applicable date. You can always go and change this. So you really don't have to worry about saying that no, GST was implemented on 1st of July 2017. That is not required. It is only asking you what is the first day from which Tally needs to calculate all your GST, is what it is asking you. If it is current year, it will automatically pick up. Okay. And then again, the GST is very, very important. You have to provide your GST, and Tally also has got this the algorithm which the GSTN uses for validation of the genuinity of the GST number. Tally also has got that algorithm inbuilt inside it. Only problem today in Tally, what you have is that it is not going to tell you whether this GST number belongs to the right person. Right. So but it is going to validate the GST number. So which means that 15 digit that you are going to specify, it is going to tell you whether it is the proper correct GST or no. Right. So now in Tally, for demo purpose also, you need to have pakka proper GST for you to get the proper result. So I'm going to just enter the GST number. So I'm going to enter, and in case I'll just show you that for example, let us say I said Karnataka. By mistake, instead of entering 9, I entered 27. Okay. Okay. So I entered, instead of 29, I have entered 27. So now when I enter, see, it tells you, see, it only warns you. Tally does not stop you from moving forward. Okay. So it says verify the company GST. So that means there is something wrong. Either the state code is wrong, or your GST, the last three digit what you are capturing could be wrong. But we know initially we were struggling, right? So we don't know whether it is O or 0, whether it is 1 or I. We used to have so much of issue. Now slowly, we have got used to it, right? So we have been seeing for so many uh, times that we are clear. Now we are able to distinguish between 1 I, 0 O, all those things, right? So now I just go back here, and then I correct it. Okay. Now after correcting, I am entering. So there is no warning, nothing. So it is taking. Next, it is asking you, what is the periodicity of your return? Right. So there is nothing major computation or something it is going to do. It is very simple. If you say quarterly, whenever you go to your GSTR, now QRMP is also come for people below 5 crore and below. So if you select quarterly, it will basically, I mean, like whenever you go to your GSTR 1 or 3 report, it is going to give you quarterly period. That is the only difference. If you say monthly, it will always show you your previous month. If you are in the month of, if your voucher entry is in the month of May, when you go to a GSTR 1 or 3B, it will show the month of April. If you say quarterly, it is going to show, if you are in July, it is going to automatically pull April, May, and June and give you in your 3B and your GSTR 1. So that is where this monthly, quarterly is there. So probably let me just say monthly. And then e-waybill, right? So e-waybill, if it is applicable, you can generate e-waybill. Now the e-waybill generation along with e-invoice is made very, very simple in Tally. I'm sure many of you are not using this e-waybill because you have to enter here, take the JSON file and then post it there. I mean, again, upload it on the portal there and again get that information, update. So many manual things are there, right? So the latest one, I'm going to show you how simple it is to generate e-waybill also in Tally Prime when we come to it. So e-waybill, if you want, you can do this, otherwise not required. Now this is where again, depending on your client, these are the first initial enablement that is required. So if you are uh, uh, providing service, okay, if you are providing service and against those services, if any advances are received, uh, GST is going to be applicable on advance. So if there are transactions in your organization where you are receiving advance, where you need to discharge the liability of GST on your advance, then you enable this advance. So you can say yes, I'm also want advance feature to be enabled in my company. The next is a reverse charge, right? So if you are having input service or certain goods which falls under RCM. So if you enable this, then see, basically all this enables, once you enable, Tally will automatically detect this transaction and in the report it is going to show you. The moment you receive advance, Tally is going to tell you how much of GST needs to be paid on this particular advance, whether you have accounted in your book or no. Automatically it is going to show you in your report. Even if you forget, Tally is going to show you because you are enabling this and capturing this as per this configuration. That is why it is important for you to enable here one time, first time. Okay. So if RCM is going to be applicable to you, then you are going to make RCM is also yes. Okay. Now this is where I was talking about that you can set it up at the company level. So this is what we are going to do. I am going to now set up at the company level. We saw so many more than 100 items which I had in this company. What is going to happen? Let us see. So I'm going to say yes, and this is your GST master screen where you are going to configure. Okay, here, if you notice here, it says GST detail at the company level for which company, for your company. So this is asking you your description. You can specify your description, whatever is the description, you can enter here, and then you can enter your 4-digit or 6-digit code, whatever is there. Okay, and then comes basically here is what it is going to ask you. Generally, at the company level, when you are doing, it is going to be taxable only, because again, if you are 100% exempted good supplier, then there is no provision says, the law says you don't have to register. So you're going to say taxable. Okay, then again, uh, whether you are falling under reverse charge and all those things, because we have enabled. So no, you are not everything. See, again, you have to remember, whatever you are doing here at the company level, it is going to apply to all your stock group, all your stock items. So you have to carefully do this. So in this case, especially, you say, no, this is not reverse charge, not everything I'm under reverse charge. Okay. And then what is the standard rate that is going to be applicable for you, or majority of the items? So I'm going to say 18% is the tax that I'm going to charge. So Tally is automatically going to do this. Now, for some of you, when you are trying to do this, you might not get this description, HSN. You will not get the breakup of your central tax and state tax. So again, very important, in every session I make it a point to tell that, for you to be an expert on Tally, many of you are expert on Tally, but still, uh, two very important secret that you have to remember when you're working on Tally. So if you remember this two secret, you don't need anybody's assistance, you don't need anybody's help, and you can comfortably work with Tally without any hurdles, right? So what are the two secrets? Secret number one is your right hand side button bar, right? In every report of Tally, you will have some button on the right hand side. Anything is missing or anything you want to do, or you see whether you can achieve that using the button on the right hand side. That's your secret number one. Secret number two is that if what you want, like for example, my description, my HSN and my breakup of my tax is not showing, right? So how am I going to see this? Use your secret number two, that is your F12 configuration, right? So press F12 configuration. Now you are able to see this. For example, let us say some of you, when you're doing it for the first time, you will get it like this. You will just get it like this, right? It will just ask you whether it is taxable and whether it is the thing. So internally it will put 9 and 9 for state and thing. But then you don't have the description, you don't have HSN. So remember your secret number two, plus F12, and then here you can say if you want HSN, you say yes, I want HSN. uh, Reverse charge is not required here. Okay, valuation select valuation type. Okay, you say yes here, and then you say yes, I want to see everything. See, now it is going to tell you it is giving you a description column, it is giving you your HSN where you can enter, and then it is also you can select your taxability, and also it is going to tell you your tax breakup also, right? So that again, this two secret is very important for you to remember. So what I've done now, I've done this thing. Okay, and in case if you are using LUT and bond, we will use this thing. GST classification, currently I'm not going to touch this and confuse you, maybe at the end. See, because GST classification is really not required, especially, I mean, like for you, I mean, like this is basically for an advanced user where you can use it. I will tell you right now, I am not going to consciously, I don't want to cover this and confuse you. I want to make it very simple initially. Okay. So now I'm going to say Control A, and very important, you say Control A here. So what did I do? I now specified just 18% at the company level. Okay. Now let me see what happened to all my stock item. So for me to see whether GST is applied automatically for all my stock item, we have a report in Tally where you go to your stock summary. Sorry, you go to your display, right? And then you go to your statutory report. You go to your GST report. This GST report, everything will come only when you enable GST yes in your F11 feature. Just to show this, I had initially enabled it. Okay. Here you have, there is one option here which says GST rate setup, right? So you come here and you see earlier I showed you nothing was there. Now you see I'm going to press Alt F1, and now you see automatically Tally is inherited the rate of GST, the HSN code or SAC for all my 150 stock item. This is what I was telling you, that you really don't have to worry about, going and configuring individually each and every item. You don't have to do that unless it is an different rate or different HSC, right? So this is what is basically my thing. It is so simple and easy. Now, next use case, that okay, not all items are going to be with same HSN, or not all items are going to be with the same rate. Let us assume that I'm just taking this as an example, right? Let us assume that I have this stock group called Seagate EHD. Under that I have one, two, three, four items. So this is my subgroup. Actually, my external hard disk is my mm, primary group. Now under that I have this Lenovo and Seagate. Let's assume that Seagate HED, it is not 18%, it is 28%. Now how do you change it? Now again, you don't have to go to your accounting master, go into each one of them and all those things. Tally says, and that is why this report is given in Tally. Especially this is for your inventory configuration management. Okay. I have done at the company level 18. All my 100 items, 58, 150 items have become 18. Now I will show you how to change 1, 2, 3, 4. This 4 item, how am I going to change the rate as 28%? Okay. So, so again, remember this concept, the hierarchy and inheritance. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select a particular stock group and I'm going to change the rate under this stock group, so that automatically all the stock item will get the rate that I'm going to specify here. That is what we are going to see here now. So I'm going to select this Seagate EHD. So press spacebar to select. You will get this green color highlight. Okay. Now your secret number 1, right? So you see here on the right hand side, you have a button called set rate. Okay. So just click here or you press alt s, just say set rate. And now very important, you have to notice here, it says GST detail for stock group. Earlier it said GST detail for company. Okay. And it is also giving you for which stock group you are going to enter. So description, I will just say it is a new description. Description will get printed if you want that there, and based on this configuration in the thing. Okay. Okay, new description, and I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is my HSN or SAC. This is a stock item, so this is my HSN, right? So now here, uh, again, I will cover as one of the pointers in the questionnaire how to handle non-GST goods. Also, I'm going to cover that. Currently, just we are doing the normal one. I'm going to say this is taxable, right? And I'm going to say it is 28%. IGST is 28%. So automatically CGST it takes. Okay. I enter, right? And now just see here, I have changed here, right? So it has become 28%. It has become 1414. My HSN also is changed. And all the item under that also is automatically changed. Okay. So all this 4 item, 1, 2, 3, 4 item, the rate is also changed. Okay. And this thing is also changed. Now, again, the next question you will have, I have so many subgroup. Should I have to do one group at a time? No. Tally says no problem. If you want to do this, select this, select this, select this, whatever, whichever, not even continuous, select this. Okay. And now you say set rate, and when you enter, it will go and automatically set rate for all this group, and whatever you are entering there, it is already captured in the master. So that under that particular group, I'm not going to change this now, right? So under this particular group, so 28 is there, right? So under this particular group, it automatically puts this thing. Now tomorrow you get one more new item, and when you create this item, you will again create normally this item without even worrying about the GST rate or HSN code, nothing. Because if it is going to be the same HSN, then you don't have to worry, just create normally, it will keep putting this 28%. And any item you are creating under any other group will automatically inherit 18%. Okay. So that is what is basically your inheritance as far as the inventory is concerned. Now the inheritance, I'm going to talk about this when we come to the expenses and your other master. Okay. I hope this is clearer to all of you, because this is very, very important. If you understand this, your GST compliance, your headache of your GST compliance will reduce by 50%. Okay.
Okay.
So
Sir,
now,
only one thing.
yeah,
This
please go
screen,
ahead.
can it be enlarged, or is it the maximum size?
Which one,
Screen,
sir?
the tally screen which you are showing.
Oh,
The
tally
tally.
screen, is it? I think this is the maximum that I have.
Okay, 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 right.
I will
Okay,
just try to, just one sec, because the screen size is only this much.
okay, sir, no problem.
Let me see. No, I think this is the maximum that I can get.
Okay, sir. Okay,
Okay,
okay, you can proceed, sir.
right, fine. So, so we have seen
Click
this
on
very.
maximum button sir, at the top.
So if I do that maximum, I am sharing, one sec. Hold on, yeah. Still, it is going to be the same. See, this is my maximum.
Okay, no issues, sir.
Okay. Proceed, sir. Please.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So this is important. We will see this overriding. We will see when we will do this. When we get into Tally, we will see how to override this. Okay. The next thing is again very